Our chairs over here.
Look how it changed.
Bring our chairs over here.
I'll move over here. No.
I tried that.
Make any decisions in the process.
One more chance.
The chair should be in there so they can do
Yeah, so we can see it. Got our chair there? Ready?
Yeah, are we ready?
We're alive.
Okay, we're live.
I'm calling the meeting to order. It is 2:07 on Wednesday, June 11th, 2025. Welcome all. Ms. Wagner has an announcement to make.
We have a quick announcement to all attendees for today's Board of Election meeting. Maryland Annotated Code, Courts and Judicial Procedure 10-402 states that we must notify all persons, whether in person or online, that this meeting is being live streamed, recorded, and archived by the host, as per Maryland Election Law Article 2-208 concerning open meetings. By staying in this room or staying online, you are giving your consent for us to record you.
Thank you.
Please note in the meeting minutes that everyone in attendance has given their consent for us, the Frederick County Board of Elections, to record them. Thank you.
Let's all please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It has been determined that we have a quorum with all members of the board present. In person, Mr. Neves, Ms. McDonald, Mr. Wilson, and online, Mr. Sowell, I'm Mary Costello. Are there any additions or changes to the agenda? Can I have a motion then to approve the board minutes of April 2, 2025?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you. The minutes of April 2, 2025 are approved. Also with us today is Council Liaison MC Keegan-Air, and we welcome comments from her at this time. All right, thank you. Any questions for MC? Thank you. Board counsel has been slightly delayed. He should be here any moment, and we will come back to his report. Election director's report.
Yes, I have a summary of the election director's report for May. Our announcements, the June board meeting, I'm sorry, here we go. Guys, so here's some copies for you guys. The June board meeting will begin a new recording and archiving process as per election law 2-208. So that we're starting that today. That became effective June 1st. The fiscal budget for 2026, the county exec adopted the executive proposed budget without changes. The budget for elections grew by 14.3%, mainly due to state expenses for new development costs, for the voter registration and election administration system, the new CRIS system, the new voting system, and the statewide poll book modernization. So our budget increased mainly out of that. Additional increases were salary expenses and the addition of an early voting center and the added cost for printing and postage. The only appeal request approved for elections was for security reasons. So our security upgrades were approved. The rest of the appeals were not approved in this budget cycle. In voter registration, as of today, the total number of active and pending voters is 208,863. The voter registration division also completed their May ERIC report, their comprehensive operating procedures report, along with the DHMH report and the court report. They also finished printing about 58,000 VNCs for the city of Frederick. It was the final step in the redistricting process. The voting system division, the State Board of Elections in coordination with ES&S performed hardware cleaning and maintenance for the statewide election management system. We also successfully completed all battery replacements for the voting systems in the BMVs and the DS200s, the CMOS battery replacement project. And we're continued with records retention processes and procedures for the previous election data in compliance with state regulations and internal policies. You are not allowed to film in here.
I'm media.
You are not allowed to film in here. I did not get a request earlier, so please stop
Well,
filming.
it's an open meeting, so media is allowed to
Please
record.
stop filming.
What was the Comar? I'm sorry, did we have
It's
Comar?
an OMA violation.
I'm sorry?
This is an OMA violation that we cannot record in here.
Continuing on with the election judge division,
OMA?
upcoming outreach events include an in-house voter registration distribution training class in July and an election worker appreciation night at the Frederick Keys game on July 12th. The GIS and Special Projects Division, the district implementation project for the city of Frederick's new city council districts has been completed. Also, the new GIS election management tools are being completed by the county GIS. And then finally, in building management, we're working with the Frederick County Engineering and adding Board of Elections signage to local roads. We're updating and training staff on the continuity of operations plan, and we're developing safety protocols for emergency situations and holding bi-monthly safety drills. The complete director's report will be submitted with the minutes.
Thank you, Ms. Wagner. Any questions for the director? Very well. Old business, the fiscal year 26 budget report review.
That is just that the budget has been completed and we have copies of the actual budget is on the Frederick County website.
And legislative update, Mr. Levin.
Good afternoon, everybody. As you all know, the election, all those bills have passed. There were 15 bills that were passed into law by Governor Moore and signed. These bills can be found in the 2025 90-day report of the legislative session. Just a couple of bills of note. One is SB 259, HB 274. That was the local Board of Elections election plan requirements. It requires local boards to submit an election plan to the State Board of Elections for approval. That includes an early voting center, a polling place, and a ballot drop box. This plan must be submitted to the State Board at least 7 months before each statewide primary election. The state administrator will review the plan prior to the State Board voting on it. The second one was HB 586, the election judge's compensation. The election judge will only receive payment for training after they have served an election day or an early voting day. Public school students that serve as an election judge may either earn service learning credit or receive election judge compensation. The third one, SB 337 and HB 4112. elections, local board of elections, open meeting requirements. Each local board to post a meeting agenda and or other specified materials on its website at least 48 hours before each open meeting, and requires that the board meetings be live streamed and maintain complete and unedited archive video recordings for a minimum of 5 years. And the last one I'm going to discuss today is SB 645, HB 906, gubernatorial primary election date. It alters the date of the gubernatorial primary election from the last Tuesday in June to the 4th Tuesday in June. And as I stated earlier, all of this can be found in the 2025 90-day report of the legislative session.
Thank you. Any
Thank you.
questions? Any questions? All right, thank you very much.
Thank
Council is here. Welcome, Mr. Dan Loftus, our council.
Thank
Any
you.
reports for us?
Yes, I have two cases that I want to report on. One case is called Della Roca versus Lee et al. And this case deals with the mail-in voting process. And this is in the federal court in Maryland. And right now, the Office of the Attorney General and the Department of Justice are waiting for the court to make a ruling on their motion to dismiss. This case deals with, the plaintiff is arguing that there was a lack of proper processing equipment in the United States Postal Service, and that there was a improper chain of custody dealing with mail-in ballots. The second case is brand new, is Bryson versus Moore et al. And this is dealing with the primary, that certain individuals that are unaffiliated are not allowed to vote in the primary. And they're arguing, the plaintiffs are arguing that because it's state funded, that they should be allowed to vote in the primary. Right now, they filed this case, and now the Office of the Attorney General will file a responsive pleading in July. And that's all I have to report.
Thank you. Any questions for council? Thank you, Mr. Loftus. New business, do I have a motion to recess the regular meeting and go into the meeting of the Board of Canvassers in order to approve the recount minutes? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Those minutes have been submitted to us, and has everyone had an opportunity to review them? Yes. Are there any changes or additions? Then may I have a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion is approved. May I have a motion to close the Board of Canvassers and reconvene the open meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The Board of Canvassers is concluded, and we're now back in the open meeting. Next on the agenda of new business is list maintenance.
Good afternoon. SBE has changed the process for death notifications. This will affect obituaries.
Can't hear back here.
SBE has changed the process for death notifications. This will affect obituaries from the Frederick News Post or other trusted sources. We are not allowed to use third-party sources from sites like Ancestry.com. Those are considered not trusted sources. So, And also the returned mail, so when we get mail back that has this person's deceased, that also will be affected by this. The new process is the voters remain active, and we will send out a death notice letter to the family of the deceased person. We then can act on the letter that we get received from the family. If it's signed, saying this person is deceased, then we go ahead and cancel. If the letter returns to us with the yellow stickers on it, and it goes into the HAVA process, so we would then act accordingly with whatever the notice is on that, we'd act accordingly to that process. That's why this is important, that the public respond back to our correspondence in a timely manner. If we don't hear anything from the voter, if we send out a letter and don't get anything, the voters now, they remain active until we hear back from them, or they go into one of our other processes. We have this minor affects the Century Club process that we do. Quarterly, we check the Century Club, and we check that against the DHMH database. If we find them, they are then canceled. If the voter hasn't interacted with our office in a recent amount of time, we would then search the obituaries to try to find them. That's where this process changes the Century Club. It would go with the new process that I just spoke of earlier. There is no change to the other list maintenance processes that we have. So the DHMH report stays the same. The jury notice deceased list stays the same. The Eric deceased report stays the same. Any signed letter from the family, the person has been deceased, all that stays the same, and those voters are canceled.
Thank you. Questions for Mr. Blakely? Thank you very much. Are there any disclosures from members of the board? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Sal. Because of the July 4th holiday, the next meeting has been scheduled for the following Wednesday, which is the 9th, as always at 2 o'clock. Is that date all right with everyone? Thank you very much. We have a number of people for public comment. I don't have that list.
We can start off with Mr. Kaminsky.
You're taking them in order?
No, we're just taking them as they come. That's how I'm gonna do it, so.
Thank you for allowing me to speak today. Myself and others are here gathered today as previously commented on the state of Frederick County's voter rolls and would like to provide the board with another update today. As you are likely aware, the NVRA tasks state and local board of elections with maintenance and maintaining clean and accurate voter rolls. This is critical prerequisite to conducting fair and accurate elections, which form the backbone of our democracy. Unfortunately, Maryland and Frederick County's voter rolls continue to fall short of this standard. Under the NVRA, states are required to maintain accurate and up-to-date voter registration lists. Maryland as a whole and Maryland County specifically show their clear violation of NVRA with inflated rolls and active registrants close to exceeding the county eligible population. These violations can be broken down into several categories. The most significant of which these are moved voters, deceased voters, duplicate voters. According to the NCOA, which is a national change of address, which the county and the state uses, which is a key source from which Eric pulls this updated voter information, Maryland has 129,261 total registrants who have moved out of state. 19,167 of these are listed as active voters. Of these registrants, 7,976 are registered in Frederick County, with 1,029 still listed as active. Furthermore, Maryland has at least 1,348 deceased registrants on the rolls, 79 of which are registered in Frederick County. We have previously presented a list of these registrants with obituaries, funeral homes, and it appears to have taken no action. I recognize the change in the Comar law. Lastly, there are 101 duplicate registrations in Maryland, with at least 3 in Frederick County. Right.
Ms. Harper? Sorry about that.
We understand that the board will only accept obituaries from newspapers or funeral homes when considering the initiation of removal of a deceased registrant. However, we did indeed provide links to this documentation from funeral homes and obituaries in some cases in a number of the deceased we presented ahead of the 2024 election last year. Additionally, a number of deceased registrants still on the rolls appear to have passed away out of state. If this is the case, and if the registrant has passed away too long ago for their information to still be findable in a local newspaper, we'd like to know what actions can be taken to ensure the removal of these registrants. The Board of Elections must have a process for identifying and removing those registrants who pass away out of state. Regarding moved voters, there is no excuse for any board in Maryland to not maintain up-to-date registrations. We understand that Maryland uses ERIC to track moved voters. However, we also understand that ERIC is not in use by West Virginia or Virginia, which are 2 of the most common states for Marylanders to move to. The state and local boards must therefore have a mechanism of communicating with these states to track and remove moved voters as appropriate. As previously mentioned, ERIC uses the NCOA as a primary source for identifying moved voters. As the NCOA shows thousands of moved voters still active on our rolls, it does not appear that ERIC is serving its purpose, at least not fully. Local boards must therefore implement procedures that will better enable tracking of these registrants to be compliant with the NVRA. Thank you.
Ms. Worsley?
Patty Worsley?
Good afternoon, thank you for having us here. I just wanted to make sure we're all on the same page. So I pulled out the Frederick County mission statement for the Board of Elections. And I just wanted to go over that to make sure that you understood what you have written. The mission of Frederick County Board of Elections is to provide all eligible citizens of Frederick County convenient access to voter registration, to provide all registered voters accessible locations in which they may exercise their right to vote, to ensure uniformity of election practices, to promote fair and equitable elections, and to maintain registration records and other election-related data accurately and in a form that is accessible to the public. Now, there's a couple words that I looked up. One of them was fair. Fair has 21 different meanings, so I would like to know which one you're going by, but the one I'm going by has marked by impartiality and honesty, free from self-interest, prejudice, or favoritism. Another word that I looked up was accurate. Now, there's a few different meanings for that word. One is free from error, especially as the result of care. 2 is conforming exactly to truth or to a standard. Okay, and I also looked up the state of Maryland's mission statement. I don't know if I have time to read it all, but the mission of the State Board of Elections is to empower all eligible Marylanders with the ability to exercise their right to vote in a free, secure, and transparent manner, inspiring confidence and trust in the electoral process. The Maryland State Board of Elections strives to be a national leader in election administration by ensuring we are able to verify procedures. We are able to verify procedures and results, promote open processes, be the trusted source of election information, and empower Marylanders, us, with integrity and fairness. And I looked up the word transparent, which means free from pretense or deceit, easily detected or seen through, and readily understood, characterized by visibility or accessibility of information, especially concerning business practices. The word trust, to rely on the truthfulness or accuracy of, to place confidence in, rely on, to hope or expect confidently. Thank you.
Ms. Foster?
Secure the Vote MD listed Frederick County as one of the most compliant counties
We
in
can't hear
America.
you.
Secure the Vote listed Frederick County as one of the most compliant counties in Maryland with respect to the Open Meetings Act, and I thank this board for their dedication to open meetings. Upon reading the Frederick's election meeting minutes, I discovered that the information being provided has decreased over time. Public comments were recorded in your minutes. Now they are not. In 2022, the mail-in ballot canvass minutes included the party affiliations of those performing the canvass. However, in the 2024 election, that was not provided. I am here to request that you amend the minutes for those canvasses to include party affiliations of individuals working on the canvassing. Keeping party affiliations private of those individuals only serves to obfuscate the process, making it less transparent to the public. In May, before the primary, you voted to allow bipartisan canvass teams to duplicate ballots without sending them to the Board of Canvassers for review in certain instances. This essentially allowed all canvass teams to be duplication teams. I used information from your website for those who worked in 2022 election to discover that 2024 canvass there are at least 4 of the 11 duplication teams which were not bipartisan, but rather same party teams. When I came to your office and asked for that information, I was told to purchase the voter list and research that for myself. As the deputy election director knew that is darn near impossible without the addresses or ages, or in some cases, the canvasser was only listed as Ray. There were 10 listings for Charles Brown in the Frederick County list. The most alarming thing which I found was that the April 22 mail-in ballot canvass was performed by 2 teams of canvassers. In each case, they were an unaffiliated person paired with a Democrat. Not one Republican was listed. In the 2022 canvassing minutes, it was clear that Frederick County was able to create bipartisan teams. But in 2024, I found 17 pairs for same party affiliation working as a team. Comar 33080402A2 says, to the extent practicable, the team shall be bipartisan. Without those party affiliations listing in the meeting minutes, it appears Frederick County is less likely to follow regulations. Please amend your canvass minutes to include party affiliations.
Thank you. Mr. Herrick? Mr. Herrick?
She's coming.
Oh, sorry.
We'll go back to the voter rolls. The lack of effective roll maintenance procedures has led.
We can't hear you,
Oh,
ma'am.
okay. We're talking about voter rolls again. The lack of effective roll maintenance procedures has led to Frederick County having an active voter registration rate of 95.34% of the eligible population. That's 20% higher than the national average of 75.6%. It's hard to believe that this is simply because Frederick County residents are that much more enthusiastic about elections than anyone else in the country. Only 91% of eligible individuals even have driver's licenses, Are we supposed to believe that people register to vote at a higher rate than they learn to drive? As this board is likely aware, compliance with the NVRA is a key part of President Trump's recent executive order on election integrity. The courts have not struck down any provisions of this order regarding the maintenance of clean and accurate voter rolls, and are unlikely to do so as they are codified legislatively by the NVRA. It is our understanding that Frederick County has previously received federal grants to help fund this organization or operation. These grant monies are in jeopardy if Frederick County does not comply before the 2026 election cycle. The new executive order also forbids the counting of ballots after Election Day and the use of drop boxes for ballot collection. We urge the board to comply with these provisions in order to secure its funding ahead of the next election and to prove to Frederick County residents that our county supports secure, accurate, and fair elections. Thank you.
That's it, thank you. Can I have a motion to adjourn the regular meeting? And is there any need for an executive session?
We have one set of minutes, but we can hold those two here.
No, we have to,
You're saying, ma'am.
we have to go into executive session.
We do.
What? We cannot hear.
We cannot hear what's going on.
He's hard of hearing, so you have to sit down. It doesn't matter, I can't hear either, and I'm not.
Nobody
hard of
can
hearing.
hear.
the meeting, okay?
It's also probable you don't want us to hear.
I don't think so.
Let's continue with
We'll talk about
adjournment.
that later.
Yes.
Continue with adjournment. We are adjourning the meeting and we are going into executive session.
Can I have a motion to adjourn the
So moved.
regular meeting and go into executive session based on
So moved.
Personnel.
Personnel.
a personnel issue? The executive session is in accordance with the authority granted under the Annotated Code of Maryland, General Provisions Article, Title III, Open Meetings Act, Subtitle Open Meeting Requirements, Section 3-305. The session is covered by the following subsections under this provision: 3-305, to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, or other issues that affect one or more specific individuals. Will there be need to consult with counsel?
Yes.
And also then provision 3-305B7, to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice. May I have a motion then to close the open meeting and go into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The open meeting is adjourned, and thank you to our guests.